Hey guys, this is editorial analysis for 19th October 2016. Let's go to the first one. This is from the Hindu newspaper. It is on the safety and security of our digital data. It says that in September, Yahoo said that personal data of 500 million users was stolen in 2014, and Yahoo attributed it to state sponsors, probably the Chinese. Later, claims emerged that this personal data was being sold on dark web. You know what dark web is, everybody knows. So the author says that in India, the Supreme Court has Supreme Court has repeatedly said that Aadhaar is not mandatory for things like social services, scholarship, etc. Still, government departments are making it mandatory for availing government services. But if this data is compromised, that the government has, that is the Aadhaar data, if it is compromised, people can't change their passwords because the biometric data that we use as our password is it's unchangeable, and citizens have not been guaranteed any security of this data. So that is something on the security of data. Let's move on to the second editorial. This is also from the Hindu newspaper. It is on the Kigali Agreement under the Montreal Protocol. You know, it has been signed in Rwanda. So it says that HFCs are refrigerant gases used for commercial, residential and automotive purposes, but they are hundreds to thousands of times more potent than carbon dioxide. The Kigali Agreement could avoid global warming by up to 0.5 degrees Celsius over the pre-industrial levels. India agreed to freezing of HFCs starting in 2028. Now, India and China are the only developing countries that manufactured HFCs, but China's emissions are bigger because of their larger air conditioning market. So the author here, he points out three concerns in this agreement in regards to India. Firstly, he says that in residential sector, the viable alternative is propane. And Godrej, that is one Indian company, they use it in some of their products, but it is not viable in all the products. So even though propane is one alternative, but it is not viable in all the products. The other alternative is R32, even though its global warming potential is 675. And then there is another alternative is hydrofluoroolefin. Hydrofluoroolefin, OLEFIN. But that also remains very expensive. HFO remains very expensive. The second concern is that the cost of transition will include the one-time cost of product redesign, servicing equipment, training of servicing personnel, and per unit equipment cost. So at Kigali, they have agreed at a $53 million initiative. It was launched for energy efficiency measures. However, a study shows that the cost of phasing down for India alone could be 12 to 34 billion dollars. So that $53 million dollars is a very small amount. And thirdly, the third concern is that many alternative gases are not produced in India. So we need cheaper technology, and that should be availed to us by the developed countries. However, this Kigali Agreement brings out several gains for us. And first, the author points out three gains for ourselves. The first one is that it is based on common but differentiated responsibility. You know, we have been assigned a later date than the others to start phasing out our HFCs, that is 2028. It was a diplomatic win in environmental diplomacy. So we have more time to shift to alternatives. Secondly, it is a legally binding agreement. So in a way, it is more effective than the Paris Treaty. And thirdly, the Montreal Protocol has already set up a good precedence of phasing down HFCs. So it will be easier to take on it from here because Montreal Protocol has already been a success to some extent. Let's move on to the third editorial. This is also from the Hindu newspaper. It talks about the dynamics of Indo-Russia relations. Very important editorial, but it was very long and sort of complicated. So I tried to shorten it. So I'm just going to read it out. It says that Russia is presently the only foreign country which is involved in nuclear production in India, at Kundankulam. Uh, and the decision to jointly manufacture Kamov helicopter was signed at Goa at the recent summit. S-400 air defense system and building of naval frigates was also a part of the intergovernmental agreement. Russia provides 70% of our defense imports. Indian companies have invested $5.5 billion in Russian oil and gas industry. Russian oil major Rosneft has acquired 98% of the SR oil and its Vadinar port at $13 billion. A joint fund of $1 billion equally shared by Russian Sovereign Fund and our National Infrastructure Investment Fund is to promote infrastructure and technology. The two countries also issued a joint statement on zero tolerance for terrorism. They support us for our permanent United Nations Security Council seat. We have recognized their efforts for a political settlement in Syria. They have assured us that except Mi-35 helicopter exports to Pakistan, there is no military supply to Pakistan in pipeline from Russia. We have expressed our concerns regarding the fact that they have recently held a defense exercise with Pakistan. So they have assured us that except that one Mi-35 helicopters, there is no military supply to Pakistan in pipeline from Russia. So that's pretty much it for today, 19th October. There was one more editorial in the Hindu on the whole issue of the triple talaq. So if you know it once, that one good old argument that even though everybody has right to freedom of religion under Article 25 of the Constitution, but still all the articles of the Constitution are bound by the Article 14 of the Constitution, that is right to equality. So everybody should be treated equally. So the entire argument on that issue, this is the crux of the entire argument on the triple talaq. So I didn't think it was something to be done in detail. It's something that we hear on a daily basis. So that's it for today. Thank you.